Finally, The Rock has come back to Hollywood after dark. That's right, it's me, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, and the Great One, here to bring you the latest and greatest in movie news. First up, Futurama turns 24 years old. Can you smell what Bender is cooking? I hope it's not a birthday cake because I'm not sharing. Next, American Jesus comic book adaptation coming to Netflix. Well, I know one thing for sure, it's not about me. I'm just The Rock, not the Messiah. And how about House of the Dragon Season 2? Only 8 episodes and won't appear till 2024. That's longer than it takes me to lay the smackdown on my candy-ass opponents. Ryan Coogler is developing the X-Files reboot. I hope he's ready to uncover the truth because The Rock knows what the people want, and that's more aliens and more Scully. Now, Ben Affleck spoils a huge bit from the upcoming The Flash movie. What is he thinking? That's almost as crazy as me quitting the role of Black Adam in the DCEU. Wait, what's that? I'm not fired? Phew, that's a relief. And speaking of fake scoops, Robert Meyer Burnett is calling out Doomcock over here. It's like the battle of the jabronis, but hey, let's not forget about his bigoted friends like Nerdrotic and Chris Gore. They can all take a big old piece of The Rock's people's elbow. Finally, Collider comes out and finally tells Zack Snyder it's time to stop. The Rock says, if you smell what the Snyder Cut is cooking, you better keep on cooking because The Rock knows a good thing when he sees it. That's all for now, folks. Until next time, keep tuning in to Hollywood After Dark, where The Rock will always lay the smackdown on movie news.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. I was trying to get that out the gate real quick at the end there. And yeah, anyway, you know what? I thought it was pretty funny to have that done. You know what? There you go. There you go, folks. We back. We absolutely back. Took last night off. Needed to spend time with my kids. Both were not feeling well. I'm feeling better, which is good. And then, yeah, a lot to talk about today. A lot to dive into. Very much. All right. So with the HWAD squad is here, guys. The HWAD squad is here. So let's take a quick talk with the chat. See what's going on with you guys there. Zachary here is like, Jesus Christ, Jarbo. What? This is funny. Tales from Hood says this is golden. I should start having those as intros every night. Having The Rock lay the smack it down. Finally, a gig he'll get right. There we go. We got Blessing here says, do you smell what The Rock is cooking tonight on Hollywood After Dark? I hope you all do. RJ is like, bro. There you go. Anyway. Let's see here. The scariest combination in the world is Jarbo and AI. You know what? I could tell you a thing or two about that to an extent. I actually was having a bit of fun with AI last night. Let me see if I can get this up here real quick, because I was messing around with the idea of trying to play with some of these new, what do you want to call it? These new prompts I was trying to learn, right? And so one of the things I looked at actually was how to do like something like Cthulhu coming out of the ocean. Frightening Cthulhu. And so I ended up making this last night in Mid-Journey. It took me a little bit of time to get there. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Mid-Journey 5 is going to be able to do. And Mid-Journey 6 is probably going to be coming before the end, probably midsummer. Who knows where things are going to be by the end of the year. But this is where things are at. And so, yeah, AI is a lot of fun to mess around with, obviously. But you know what else is fun to mess around with? Supporting the channel. Patreon.com/MattJarbo. Check it out there. Great way to do that if you guys want to help out. You know what? Anything helps. You guys have been great so far. Thank you. Ryan asking how I'm feeling. My voice is a little kind of iffy. Other than that, I'm feeling better. You know, the kids are still sick, which is not really going to be happening. They're going to be home probably all week just because how school is on that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely have to see how they're doing and everything else. Tomorrow. Hopefully, I want them to go back to school, obviously. So everything else. Oh, by the way, anyone here pick up a copy of Avatar on digital? I got mine, and I was thumbing through it. I did not have the 3 hours to watch it. I wanted to, but I was thumbing through it a little bit, and my God, that thing looks beautiful. But I did notice a couple bits that did look a little bit wonky. A couple shots that were just kind of like okay, that like maybe needed another run or two with the with the processing, maybe another Passover would have done it. I'm not too sure. Kenneth asking, I hope I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing better, man. These things come and go. I'm going to get them. Like, I'm going to get sick a lot as time goes on. It's just what happens when kids leave the house, unfortunately. But all right, let's see here. Nerdy Mastermind says, hopefully you and your kids get better and see a doctor. Actually, here's the thing. It's that you can't, children bring home shit. Okay. I am vaxxed for COVID. I've gotten 2 boosters and my 2 shots. I recently had a flu shot and I had a pneumonia shot. That's probably why I got knocked down for maybe a day and a half versus my kids who are still kind of having the cough. So there's that. Additionally, just because you get like flu shots or things like that, kids will still bring home germs. Like, it doesn't matter how protected you are. It literally does not matter how protected they are. All right. Like, you're going to get sick. It's not, you get sick when you have kids in school. I don't know why I have to explain this, but it's not like it's not a hygiene thing. It's not a fucking health thing. I mean, kids, when they go and they interact with other kids, they're going to get sick. Their immune systems can handle quite a bit, but they still bring a lot of crap home and then it spreads. I don't know. I don't know if you have kids. I'm just saying, it's like once they go to school and shit, we start getting sick more often. And believe me, they come home from school, they wash their hands. They actually wash their hands before they leave school, as I found out when I went and volunteered for an afternoon. They do a bunch of that kind of stuff. So you have to remember that in this particular situation, kids are going to end up being like, they're little germ machines, dude. They're just little germ machines. It's essentially what's going on. What did I crack open? I cracked open a LaCroix pastique. it's naturally essenced watermelon flavored sparkling water. Like I said, I don't drink, so I gotta do all that kind of crap. Yeah, Josh says, as I say, kids are walking petri dishes, dude, 100%. Here's the thing, Garrick. We're going to be talking about that as we get to that, right? So why don't we just dive right into the first story I wanted to cover tonight? And that, of course, is as crazy as it is to say, as crazy as it is to think about. Futurama is now 24 years old. How weird is it to think that 24 years ago, we watched the premiere of if you were alive in 1999 when the show came out? I remember how big of a deal Futurama was back during that time. Futurama becoming a thing, especially when the Simpsons were only in like season 8 or 9 around that time. I think maybe season 9. Simpsons were still very much at the height of their 90s popularity. The Simpsons is now well over 30 years old. It has never really dipped in popularity. More people have come to it. It is the #1 most watched show on Disney Plus. That being said, Futurama was just something different. It was just something more adult. If you think about it, it was just the way Fry and Bender and Leela and just like their adventures and Dr. Farnsworth and like all the literally quarter century of memes that we've had while talking about this, the adventures of Bender Rodriguez and everything else. Like, it's just the movies and the show and the emotional highs and lows and how this actually did something. I believe Futurama is a better show than The Simpsons. And I'll say that now that I'm older, I can look back on it and realize that it was trying to be something that I think a lot of modern adult themed cartoons at the time simply wasn't. It's not Family Guy. It's not The Simpsons. It's not American Dad. It's not South Park. It's its own thing. And even when the show got brought back on Comedy Central a number of years ago, I think it was David X. Cohen was talking about this in an interview. He had said that Comedy Central gave them the go-ahead to be as raunchy as they wanted. They were like, if you want to go raunch, we have South Park. Go raunch. Do your thing. Have at it, Hoss. And they said no. They turned it down. They didn't want to do it. They decided that they did not want to support it in that particular fashion because it would go against the ethos of what they had originally created. And you got to give them credit for that. You got to give them credit for that. You have to absolutely give them a lot of credit for sticking to their guns and not taking like the easy way out when it comes to the comedy. Because there's even an episode when they did the new season and it was like Proposition Infinity that was kind of making fun of Proposition 8 in California. That was a very topical thing that they were able to add in to a show. And it worked. It just, again, it goes over a lot of people's heads. But if you pay attention, Futurama is very, very funny. It's very, very pertinent, and it's very, very smart. So I don't know when the new season is going to happen. All I know is that I'm very excited and I can't wait to see more. And obviously it's going to be just one hell of a time. And I think we're all really, really, really waiting to see what happens next and what they plan on doing with it, obviously. So from there, why don't we, oops, I hit the wrong button. Okay, quickly move on. I'm trying to actually get timestamps today, so I'm going to do my best to do my due diligence on all that shit. But I want to talk about this. This is a new show that is coming to Netflix, right? We had the first poster for it today. This is called The Chosen One. It's an adaptation of Mark Millar's American Jesus for Netflix. And the story follows a kid who gets into an accident, then comes to realize, yeah, he's the chosen one. He's Jesus Christ. This kid, can turn water into wine. He can make the crippled walk. He can actually raise the dead. And then he has to basically be trained to grow up to fight the Antichrist in the apocalypse. Now, after what happened yesterday in Tennessee, I don't quite know if I would have released this specific poster today, just given what happened, just given where the right wing is on what happened yesterday in Tennessee in that particular shooting and all of the demagoguery that they're trying to drudge up and all of those things that they're trying to do. Obviously, it's going to get a little bit wild. And this particular thing right now is kind of under the radar, I think. But when this comes out, this I think is going to cause a stir. I think this is going to cause a stir because I don't think it's going to treat Christianity in the nicest of ways. I don't think it's going to treat, religion, organized religion in the nicest of ways. And I think it might, this is Mark Millar we're talking about here, Wanted, Kingsman, a bunch of other stuff that he's worked on over the years. And I think it's going to be a little bit, cynical, maybe a bit sardonic. It's going to be up there. It's going to be crazy. It is an interesting concept, as Reed here says, very much so. It is an interesting concept, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to be happening on this one. Quite frankly, I'm very curious to see what's going to be happening because I do like these kind of more grittier comic adaptations. It's not that I'm over superhero movies or superhero shows. I'm very excited for a bunch of them, but I think if you're going to go into adaptations, start really diving into like some of these darker stories, remember History of Violence? That was a good adaptation of a graphic novel. There's a lot there that we can pull from that can do this kind of stuff. And honestly, Netflix needs a hit with Mark Millar, considering that they purchased Millar World for like $700 million, I think, back in 2017 or some crap. It was their first big purchase, and they haven't really done much with it. So this has got to work for them. All right. There you go here. I'm sorry. I have to just look at this here. Danny, what are you talking about? That trans chick is a hero. Are you talking about the person who shot up the school yesterday? Is that what you're referring to? I mean, I hope not. I really hope not, because what happened yesterday was not good in any capacity. It's a very much a condemnation on our society and how we handle things. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't know other trans chick they could be referring to. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I'm just gonna move on from that. I just, Just yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep things moving on that one there. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with American Jesus. Whether or not there's going to be a big blowout from the from certain things, you know what I mean? We're going to have to wait and see. So with any luck, the show will come out and it will be good, and it won't turn into cannon fodder for the culture war. But given just where we are right now with everything, God, it's all going to be cannon fodder for the goddamn culture war. So that part, unfortunately, is going to be there. But why don't we dive over to something a little bit better, a little bit lighter of a topic, and one that's, it's also kind of sad, not in the same way at all. And that is that House of the Dragon season 2 is looking to be a bit shorter of a season, but they are looking at getting a third season of the show, and also apparently getting ready to determine whether or not season 3 of the show will be the final season or season 4. Okay, you're not talking about the shooter. Okay, good. I don't know who you're talking about then. It just in the context of what I was talking about, and all I see is that. I just got to make sure. All right, I didn't think you were. I just didn't know. That's one of those things. A lot of my friends with kids were scared to take their kids to school today, as what happens every single time. I agree with just a hater here. Be more specific, please. That kind of came out at a thing. That came out at a time. I just don't know what you meant by that. So anyway, there's that. Okay. So, all right. So thank you for that, Reed. We'll get to that comment here a little later. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Trying to keep things on point with the subject as we're going through it though. So there we go on that. All right. So it says here that the upcoming second season of HBO's House of the Dragon will consist of 8 episodes, 2 fewer than season 1. In part, it is part of a long-term plan for the show, which includes HBO mulling a green light for a third season. The news comes as productions are about to begin season 2 in the UK for a likely summer 2024 premiere. In what is a relatively common practice, HBO did not reveal the episode order in the season 2 renewal announcement last summer. Here, the initial plan was for a 10-episode arc, which eventually changed, leading to some script rewrites. Given leadership change at HBO's parent company, some pointed at Warner Brothers Discovery's leadership focused on cost cutting. An HBO spokesperson who confirmed the deadline that season 2 will contain 8 episodes stressed that the episode count trim was story driven. See, here's the thing with that though, right? Is House of the Dragon was the biggest show on HBO Max last year. It was the biggest show on HBO Max last year. It was the biggest show on HBO last year. It was massive. It was huge. It had a lot of animosity or a lot of anxiety going into it. People were just kind of like apprehension, I think is a word I want to use. A lot of apprehension on that. A lot of people were just kind of like, you know what? I mean, season 8 left a bad taste in some people's mouths. Again, I liked it, so whatever. But what we have here is a situation where it's like they need more Game of Thrones. It literally is a shot in the arm to that network. So trimming it by 2 episodes, I understand if it's story related. At the same time, what I would do instead is I would look to see about greenlighting other shows within that time period or within that whole thing, and then turn that into like some kind of backdoor pilot as a way to introduce audiences to those characters. I think that would be the better bet. However, that's simply just my take. It has been reported that House of the Dragon's creative team had envisioned the series running for 3 or 4 seasons. I hear that executive producer, showrunner Ryan Condal, working with author/executive producer George R.R. Martin, took a step back as season 2 is being put together to take a big picture view of the series, which follows Martin's Fire and Blood, and figure out the overall narrative flow, including how to break up the story season to season and what battles to include and when. Oh, gee, maybe if George would have fucking finished the goddamn last couple books, they wouldn't have had that problem with Game of Thrones season 7 and season 8. But oh no, George had to sit there and just soak up all the positivity, soak up all the love, soak up all the attention he was getting while throwing Dan and Dave under the bus. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stray away from that. George is responsible for what happened ultimately. The man who created the universe, the man who created the stories, the man who the stories were adapted from, not finishing his work, and then still trying to throw Dan and Dave under the bus. It's ridiculous here. And then he's like, they could have gone for 15 seasons. Finish your fucking books, George. It could have gone for 15 seasons. Finish your fucking books, dude. Finish your fucking books. You have one job. You have one job. Literally for years, a decade, almost. A fucking decade, almost. Right? Or like 8 years. Okay? Like 8 years. All right? But he had like nearly a decade to finish the books. Fuck, dude, even J.K. Rowling can stop being transphobic for a hot minute to finish her fucking novels. You know what I mean? It's like, it's Stephen King still writes at an insane rate. George R.R. Martin got lazy. Let me just reiterate that for the people in the back. George R.R. Martin got fucking lazy. And as a result of that, the show suffered. But now he's got a story that's completed, that's being adapted, and it's well received by the fans. So now he's like, oh, no, let me take a step back and let me just kind of figure out big picture. Bitch, where the fuck were you goddamn 6 years ago? Where the fuck were you at the end of goddamn season 5 and 6? Where the fuck were you when they needed you? When they were coming up on it, when they're like, George, we have got to hit this deadline. And George is all, I'm blogging everybody. I'm going to go on all these interviews. I know you didn't do your job. You did not do your goddamn job. Shit, dude. Fucking bring in a ringer if you're not going to finish. Bring in a goddamn ghostwriter. What's Brandon Sanderson up to these days? Besides getting completely shit on by Wired and having that gloriously backfire in their fucking face. But it's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. It's grade A bullshit. You cannot sit there and tell me with a straight fucking face that George R.R. Martin is blameless in what happened with Game of Thrones. All right? But he won't ever take the fucking blame. God, I swear, if I ever am like in the same space as him, I'll ask him that question. Like, so what do you have to say for where the show went? Oh, they took it in their own direction and I only gave them a blueprint of really what I thought, no. You fucked up. You fucked up, George. All right. What is it with George's Lucas and Romero and fucking, Martin fucking up their later works? You know what I mean? At least Romero and Lucas had something to fucking say. George R.R. Martin's just like, I'm going to develop a video game with fucking From Software. I'm going to go and work on a TV show for sci-fi that got canceled after one season. I'm going to work on other, this book, The Winds of Winter will eventually come out. By the time he fucking gets around to that shit, we're going to have like 5 goddamn new shows in the Lord of the Rings franchise. Completely decimating everything Game of Thrones had going for it. He's just fucking lucky the shit's good. He's just really fucking lucky the shit's good. Yes, Agent Josh, wieners, wiener, yeah, that's how it is. I need to watch the Black Friday story. Yeah, I've seen the Black Friday Game of Thrones storyline. Yeah, the console wars. It's what led into the Stick of Truth. Yeah. No, I've seen that. He was in Sharknado, was he? I didn't know that. That makes sense. Great points. Thank you, Kenneth. Really, it's fucking ridiculous, guys. I have nothing personally against George R.R. Martin. Okay. Make no mistake. I have no beef with the dude whatsoever, but it grinds my gears when you get brought in to adapt a show and it blows up on an epic level. It elevates HBO to new heights no one has ever fucking seen before, right? Period. No one has ever seen before. And then it's just like, then you just fucking twiddle your thumbs and cash a check and then pass the blame when you don't do your work. I mean, this is America. Let's be fair. It's just what it is. It's accountability. It really is. It really is accountability. Oh, come on. Leave the old man. No, not going to fucking leave him alone. He had a job to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Fuck it. At this point, plug it all into ChatGPT and let them fucking finish it. All right. Just let AI finish your goddamn book because you're not even going to do it yourself. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he's currently on ChatGPT. Like, I need you to pretend that you're George R.R. Martin, i.e. me. Here's my layout for Winds of Winter and whatever the last book is going to be. And then I need to like figure it out. I need to know how I'm going to tell this story. And then ChatGPT's like, done, motherfucker. You just goddamn it. At this point, just do AI. Just do AI. Like flat out, man. Just like go on ChatGPT and do it. Yeah, Kuhnsteer says he can't even claim writer's block because he's developing other show scripts. Exactly. Now, here's the thing, Nerdy. You're entirely right. You're entirely right. George is up there in his age. He's in his mid-60s, I believe. He's sitting back, fat, happy with his millions. I don't blame him. No, seriously. You're not wrong on that front. The dude has definitely earned his keep in regards to all that kind of stuff. All right. What I mean is that it's like if I were to ever sell an idea, all right, like I had everything planned out, and then I get to the place where I don't have it planned out, and then I still just kind of fucking pass the buck, man. I'm gonna shit on that. To be fair, I would expect to be shat on for not doing my goddamn job. All right. See, Eric here says hot take as a Gen X for Sopranos is greater than Game of Thrones. Get the fuck out of here. No, I get you, man. No, I'm personally. Oh, he's currently 74. I thought he was like in his mid 60s. Oh, well, you know what though? There you go. Fine. Get Brandon Sanderson to finish it. Like what happened with Robert Jordan. Okay. Now I'm not knocking Robert Jordan, man. Tragic death. I think it was cancer. Tragic death. I love Robert Jordan's work, but Brandon Sanderson was a good backup dude. But here's the thing. Robert Jordan knew his time was coming to an end. Robert Jordan knew he wasn't going to be able to finish his books. He fucking knew he wasn't going to survive. So he plotted it all out. He plotted every detail. He plotted every thread. He had it all mapped out. He had it ready to go. And then he chose his successor. And he chose a writer who could mimic his style well enough to finish it and appease the audience. And that's what he did. So if you are unable to finish your seminal masterpiece because you're fat and lazy and you've got your millions and you're not dying of cancer, then fucking hire somebody else to do it. Fucking hire somebody else to do it. Hire goddamn HBarts to do it. I love HBarts. He's super into fantasy. He knows all about all this crap. Fucking hire HBarts to do it. Hire some asshole out of fucking USC, the writer program to do. No, don't even fucking touch that. No, don't fuck that shit. All right. Find some random blogger on the internet that does like Game of Thrones fan fiction. And I'm pretty sure you'll get something that's more saliently in mind to the original creation than anything you might get out of, I don't know, USC these days. You know, he doesn't. Oh, here's the thing with that. The thing is, he owes us nothing. Yeah, ultimately you're right. He owes us nothing. All right. He owes us nothing. That is true. But I do believe that there is an obligation. I do believe that there is an obligation with the audience, an obligation with the people who dedicated to making the show for well over a decade, all the millions of dollars that went into visualizing his work, into bringing that vision to a tangible, real existence in many ways. You owe something at that point, to the people who believed in you enough to want to make this work. And when you sit there and you just ignore your obligations and then still bitch about it, fuck that shit. I don't need to go off anymore on this crap. I'm just saying it's stupid. It's just stupid. That's all that's going on here. What's going on with, well, Darkness here says, oh great, the deflated basketball head is on attack. I see. What's going on with that? Blessing says here, didn't someone spoil one Harry Potter book? Yes, it was my friend Bob. It was my friend Bob. And my friend Bob was upset that somebody spoiled it for him. And so Bob had to spoil it for me. I don't know why he spoiled it for me. Like, ultimately, he was just being a dick. I think it might have been because I'm the one who got him into reading Harry Potter. I was like, hey, Bob, you should read Harry Potter, dog. You like Lord of the Rings, man? You should read Harry Potter. It's like way simple, but it's like, it's chill. You saw the movie, right? Movie's pretty solid, dude. Read the book. Read the book, Bob. Read the book. Took me a while. I got him to read a book, and then he got into it. He got hardcore into it, and then I think he was just injured. I think his ego was wounded because he was all like, "I'm not going to get spoiled," and someone spoiled it. So then he came to work and spoiled it for me. I'm like, "You fucking asshole." So then I had to sit on that knowledge as my younger sister was reading the book when it came out. Now, I mean, by this point in time, I had already known about the spoiler because, you know, Bob and also the internet. But still, it's just crazy. Yes. There you go. Wait, what is this here? Ski Walker and the Cool Table are calling Dave Pena a clout chaser. Right. They're calling the guy that knows Zack Snyder, that has Zack Snyder on his show pretty often, a clout chaser. Sure. Yeah. Says the people desperate to get his attention by trying to push a narrative that's never going to fucking happen. But oh my God, we don't need to go down that path again. Shogun here says that, thank you, by the way. The thing is, maybe no matter how good / bad it is, Martin might not do it because he'd go under so much scrutiny even more so. Well, that's the problem. If he just would have done it, the scrutiny would still be there because there's always going to be scrutiny. But I think it would be lessened. At this point, I don't think he wants to finish it at all. Personally, I don't think George R. R. Martin wants to finish the books at all. I think he's fine with them being where they are because HBO still wants to spend millions upon millions of dollars developing content, developing shows. House of the Dragon. There's the Jon Snow sequel show that's, I think, starting to film now or has already started to film. You've got the animated series, I believe, or it's an animated movie or whatever. Something's happening animated. At one point, there was like upwards of like 10 or 12 different spinoffs for Game of Thrones. So George R. R. Martin is just straight up collecting them checks. He's just collecting them checks. But if he never finishes the book, if he never finishes the series, he'll now never have to be accountable for that ending. Because again, that ending was his ending. We have to make that abundantly fucking clear. That ending was his ending. Because he would have given those guys the fucking ending. And that would have been the ending. And then it didn't go over very well. So now he's like, oh shit, I got to fix it. But if he doesn't fix it, then he's always going to be seen as like, well, he just died before he could finish it. He just died before, oh well, c'est la vie. And his legacy will never have to be tied into the ending of the franchise. He'll just be able to revel in its creation and where it potentially goes with other things, ancillary tales that have been written in that world, but not with the core series that he'll never finish. Because I'm sorry, he's never going to, in my opinion, and I could be wrong and I'd be happy to be wrong, but in my opinion, if he hasn't released a book in 12 years now, then he's 74 years old. Motherfucker ain't ever releasing shit. He's just going to collect them checks and retire happy to Cuba. Like, you know what? Like, and let him do it. Let's see here. Shogun says, so Martin may be going for the leave him wanting more hardcore. No, I think so. I really do think so. I really, really do think so. I think he absolutely is going to leave people wanting more because then he at least leaves on a high note. Well, we'll never know what his true vision was. And people will be able to make up their fan visions in their mind, right? Their fan casting, their fan theories, all of those things. Like Bran wasn't going to win the Iron Throne. He wasn't going to win the game at the end. That was always just a Dan and Dave thing. George had never thought of that. Bullshit. I'm sorry. Look, I know Danny here says, like, he says that that's not his ending. He says that that's not his thing. But come on. We can acknowledge, though, that when you sit there, these shows are plotted out years in advance, right? They're developing the shows like season by season, especially when it's so popular and we know it's going to be going till the end, right? We know it's going to be going to the end. Why do you think Dan and Dave wanted to end the show early? It's not that they didn't have a fucking ending. They had to get to the ending. And George was dragging his fucking feet. George was dragging his feet. He fucked over that show. So I think at the end, Dan and Dave chose to wrap it up in the best way that they could. But again, it's his fucking fault. It's his fault. And people need to really acknowledge that. I know I've been hammering it home on this one, but it's true. It's 100% true. Let's see. Enterprising says it's the most notorious incomplete series in the history of fictional literature. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry. Oh God, I'm starting to cough. Let's see. Eric asking, what should be the true ending? Dan and John, or Danny and John ruling together? No. Jon should have been the king. And the reason why is because he never wanted to do it. Bran, and this is why I didn't care for the Bran thing as much. Like, I mean, like, because that whole line of like, why do you think I made this trip? And like basically indicating that he was playing the game from behind the scenes the entire time as the three-eyed raven, knowing what was going to happen, having those visions, being able to figure all that out, move people like his chess pieces. I get that. But that line of, why do you think I made the trip? Was like, fuck you, buddy. No, Jon didn't want to do it. But Jon commanded people because they loved him, because they respected him, because he had that type of ability. He could lead people. He could be prosperous, but he also never wanted it. It was a burden to him, which is the reason why he should have been the one on the throne. Robert chose the throne after the rebellion, but I don't think Robert ever wanted it. He had to do it because he owed the Lannisters, which is why he married Cersei. But he never wanted it. He just wanted, the Stark sister, right? Who didn't even fucking like him. Like, holy shit. Dude, literally imagine going to war because you're the cuck, right? Going to war because you've been cucked and not knowing that you're the cuck, but at the end of the day, you're the cuck. Like, all those people died because Robert was a drunken, possessive asshole, and that's one of my favorite twists in the show. One of my favorite twists in the show was that, because it was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Right? Like, dude, yeah, he was totally the cuck, man. He got crazy. Holy shit. No, Dany still would have died. Dany doing what Dany did. People need to remember, Dany was always going to become the Mad Queen. It doesn't matter how you slice it. It doesn't matter how much you like the character. The character was always destined to do that. And that is why in that moment in the episode, The Bells, after the bells ring and they've taken the city, and Dany's there and she's on the dragon and she's got her adrenaline pumped. This is everything that she has fought for, everything that she has suffered for, everyone around her who she loved, who had died, everything in that moment. It was right there. And all she had to do was land, but she couldn't. And that's why in that moment, she decides to do what she did. And people got mad at it because they didn't see it coming, which is weird because it was literally telegraphed from the first fucking season. It was telegraphed all the way through. If you didn't see that moment coming, I don't know what fucking show you were watching, man. I saw that shit fucking day one. Right? At the end of the season 1 where she burns the witch and shit. Dude, fucking flat. She burns people, man. She crucified fucking people. Yeah, they were slavers. They were dicks. Right? That's the justification. But she still fucking crucified people. She was the Mad Queen, always. And in that moment when victory is there and she's grasped it, it wasn't enough. And that is why that's one of my favorite moments of that entire series. Because in that moment, she snaps. And again, people don't get that. They don't understand that. I always have this argument with people about this. I don't fucking get it, whatever. Because, dude, she was always going to do that. She was always good. It was always coming. But even she lied to herself. That's the other part of that too. She knew deep down she was that way. But Jon, this is the thing. This is why Jon should have been king. Jon was the one who was like her balancing act. He brought out the good in her because she saw the good in him. And he accepted her for who she was. And he loved her for who she was. But she couldn't play second fiddle. Because she knew that the people loved him. Daenerys wanted people to love her. She needed people to love her. Jon didn't. And that's why the people were drawn to him. She couldn't play second fiddle. That's why she did what she did. And it was brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. And that's, again, I always argue that on people and shit. It was fucking great. It was great. As Garrick here asks, Critical Drinker says Star Wars is a dead franchise. Do I think he's correct? Hell no. Motherfucker, did you watch, not you specifically, but like Mandalorian has been on fucking fire. I caught up with it last night. because like I was like, all right, I'm just gonna, I played Dying Light 2 for a while. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch Mando caught up. I did the other half of episode 3 and all of episode 4. Dude, fucking Dr. Pershing, man. Holy crap. That ending got me. I was like, oh shit. And then of course, the whole thing with Bo and like Bo now dealing with like the first time she's been around Mandalorians, like part of her old sect. You know what I mean? And that's a fucking thing. And she's kind of coming in there and like already kind of like commanding it. She's in there like, I'm going to live up to the clan, Krzee. This is what we're going to do and shit. And it's like, they're kind of rudderless. I mean, yeah, the armorer is kind of the one in charge, but again, all Bo needs is that Darksaber and she'll fucking rule Mandalore. And now that they all know everything going on with Mandalore and shit, it's like, fuck crazy, dude. No, goddamn, dude. Mando is lit. I can't wait for midnight tonight. I'm going to watch that fucking episode and shit, dude. It's fucking great. Anyway, let's see here. Also, Eric says, what John stood by Dany, would Sansa have become a threat to Dany? I think eventually Sansa would have. Well, no, but see, the thing is, only if Dany would have encroached her rule on the North, because all Sansa wanted right now in the show was to just be the ruler of the North and the North to be independent. That's all she wanted. And if Sansa would have, or I mean, if Dany would have gone after that shit, that would have been a problem. So Mando has been disappointed. I don't know what show you're watching. I don't fucking know what show you're watching, Mega Man. It's been fucking great. I don't know what show you're watching. Literally, I have no idea. Now, Ronaldo here says, I'm worried about the Mandalorian's low viewership. Do you think it will get better? Who the fuck? Okay, I'm not, this isn't directed at you. Fuck Samba TV. Fuck Nielsen ratings. Look, Hollywood, in my mind, in my opinion, largely, most of the people, like these streamers, they fucking keep their shit to themselves. Okay? They keep the shit to themselves unless they want to tout a number for shareholders. Samba TV does not yield that much fucking power. All right? Samba TV is using an estimate based upon the data that they can collect, based upon the certain type of TV, Samsung, that they're able to then get people to opt into that particular thing. Okay? No, that shit don't mean nothing. How many people watch on their phone? How many people watch on their tablet? How many people watch on their console? How many people watch on their fucking PC? Right? How many people do that? A lot of people. A lot of people have set-top boxes, have Fire Sticks, have Google Chrome. There's so many ways to watch the content now. It is the only people who know the direct numbers are those at the fucking streamer. The only people who have the direct numbers are the people at the streamer. That's it. Nielsen, you know what? I think it's just an arbitrary old ass thing. I do wish they were more transparent. I do. But the only people talking about Mando's low viewership and shit are the people that, again, on those websites. Fucking, we don't know. We honestly probably won't know until the next earnings call, or even next year, or at the end of this year or whatever, when they release that information about who has the, like their top originals. And I guarantee you Mando is going to be up there. So it's popular, man. It's popular. But I think too, the length in between the seasons hurt it. I think Boba Fett kind of hurt it a little bit. And I think maybe I think Kenobi, maybe. The thing is, though, there are people nowadays who just don't want to talk positively about stuff. And I think it's not because they don't enjoy stuff. I really do feel that there is this like massive thing that's happening, right? That there's this massive issue that's happening where people are just literally fucking tired of everything being shit, of everything being woke, or everything, not even everything's fucking woke, but this is the fucking bullshit. Right? Black woman cast in the show. It's fucking woke. Jesus Christ. Touch grass, you malignant tumor motherfuckers. Okay. There's literally people out there right now that are just burnt the fuck out and they just want to enjoy something. And there are so many other people out there that are broken, that are just broken emotionally. They're just broken mentally. Their lives suck. So they think about, they need to hate something. Well, I mean, you know, what's the easiest thing to fucking hate, dude? Pop culture, right? Politics has us divided and culture is upstream. Politics are downstream from culture. You know, politics are all that shit. So it's like people have a shitty ass fucking life and they're like, well, my life fucking sucks. You know, I'm going to bitch about fucking Star Wars on the internet. Whoop-de-fucking-do. How about you fucking change your goddamn fucking, your train of thought on this one, right? Alter your perspective a wee bit. Maybe do a little fucking, smoke a little J. You know what I mean? Maybe watch your favorite fucking porn, rub one out a little bit. You know what I mean? Just kind of expel the demons from the tip of your peen. You know what I, just get rid of it. Just like calm the fuck down, dude. Put on some fucking whale sounds. Draw yourself a nice bath, dip, drop a little lavender in there, light some candles, fucking chill, dude. Relax, man. Think back to the shit you fucking like. But the problem is hatred is so powerful of a fucking disease, dude. It is so goddamn powerful of a disease. Because it's so easy to hate something. It really is. Because it's hard to convey what happiness is. Because we've never been taught what happiness is. And this is just the thing, my complaint with society. We've fucking never been taught what happiness is. All right? Think about it. Just for a fucking moment, think about the concept happiness. Okay? Have you ever been taught what it is? Most of us haven't. If you have, hey, good for you. Most of us haven't. If we're having a good day, right? Where some good things happen to us. People will say, don't talk about that. Right? Be humble about it. Don't talk about it. That's a them problem, not a you problem. If you're like, fuck, I had a good day. I found $20 on the street. I fucking got what I needed. I got, you're having a good time and shit. People are going to be jealous though. But you know what? Jealousy is a natural fucking emotion that people need to fucking deal with. But instead we have to tiptoe around other people to not make them feel worse about themselves, which again is them problem, not a you problem. And as a result of that, we're never taught what it means to be happy, and not even happy. I'm gonna downgrade that even one step. We're not even taught what contentment is. We're not taught that. We're always taught more. We need more, and that's capitalism. Let me ask you, you guys play video games? All right. You guys ever hoard things? You hoard everything. You hoard all the material. You hoard all the potions. You never use them. Right? You think I'm going to need these for later. I'm just going to keep hoarding and hoarding and hoarding and hoarding more. Your inventory is just filling to the brim. Especially if it's a weight-based thing. You're like, oh my God, I need these guns, but I really need all these potions for shit. And then the game ends and you don't use any of them, but you hoarded them the entire time. That's a scarcity thing. That's a societal teaching right there. That's what I'm talking about. We're not taught what it means to be content with what we have. We're taught to always want more. That is never enough. And that's just reality. That's just fucking reality, guys. Anyway. Sorry about all that shit. You guys kind of get me in a mood. So I get worked up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry here. Okay. We did get a $10 super chat from Reed earlier. I did want to get to this, mate. Thank you. Says, reading the lyrics right now by Paul McCartney. It's really good with 2 volumes and good for inspiring songwriters and goes through 154 songs. Also might see D&D movie tomorrow early as well. That's great. I enjoy Paul McCartney. I'm not the biggest McCartney fan. It's not that I don't like him. I just don't have that connection to the Beatles like my dad does or my mom does. Like my parents are going to be like, the Beatles, fuck yeah. Right. I'm going to be like, dude, fucking Green Day, motherfucker. It's just different generations and shit. So as for the D&D movie, yeah, I can't wait. They actually did a promo for the movie bringing back Freaks and Geeks. Because John Francis Daly, who was in Freaks and Geeks, co-directed this movie. And the fact that they got like Sam Levin and Martin Stone to come back, or Martin Starr to come back and to do a bit, and it was funnier than shit. It's on I think it's on Discussing Film. I know I retweeted it. But yeah, I want to see the D&D movie this week, definitely. Garrick here says, ever notice that even when the fandom menace talks positively about a movie, there's always a spin about how it destroys woke Hollywood? Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is woke Hollywood? Right? What the fuck is woke Hollywood? Imagine if Steven Spielberg released Hook. You know, Rufio. Like, Rufio's woke because they cast a Pinoy guy in that fucking role. Why wasn't Rufio? You know, look at the Disinsider today. I don't have the article, but apparently the Disinsider posted some op-ed calling like the new Peter Pan and Wendy. Is it a movie or is it a show? I don't even fucking know. Calling it woke because they have a black Tinkerbell. And like somehow it made its way through the editorial process and somehow it made its way into a published blog post on their website. And then the two guys in charge are like, whoa, we're so sorry. This shouldn't have happened. But exactly. These guys, look, these motherfuckers can't even define what woke is. Woke is just diversity. That's all it is to them. Anyway. All right. Thank you very much, Garrick, for another $5. There's always, they're always like Top Gun Maverick or Puss in Boots destroys woke Hollywood. Do these guys that realize that Hollywood put out these movies? That's kind of the whole point. That's kind of the whole point about that, right? Top Gun Maverick is a movie that that's designed for your dad. It is. It's designed for your dad because your dad would have been around that same kind of middle age, you know, that younger age when the first one dropped. And then you have nostalgia. And here's the thing: I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet, but I hear it's really good. Top Gun was really good, you know. And may Tony Scott rest in peace. Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots is exceptionally woke. My fucking God, that movie does not feature a non-white person as a bad guy. The only whitey that's a bad guy is big old Jack Horner, voiced by John Mulaney. The hero, Latino. The heroine, Latina. The sidekick, Perro, Latino. Right? They speak in Spanish. They talk with the accent. They do everything, right? You know, they have the Spanish splinter, all that shit. Then, of course, you got the Goldilocks, right? Florence Pugh, Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone. And then the baby bear. I don't know who voices him, but I don't think he is white. But again, at the end of the movie, they're not the bad guys. They're not the bad guys. You know? But the white man's the bad guy in the movie. The white man with everything, right? He hoards all the goods. He hoards all the baby unicorn horns. Kills his own men. He is capitalism incarnate. That movie is woke as fuck. Fuck. I say it again. But it destroys woke Hollywood. Sure. It's so fucking dumb. Look, here's the biggest problem with these guys, man. And I talk about this a lot, but it's fucking insane. They lack critical thinking. That's the biggest issue, is that they lack critical thinking. And the critical drinker is not even that. He's not even critical. He's a fucking moron. You know, look, he wrote some books. They're on Amazon. You know who I found out also wrote a book that's on Amazon? John Campea. I've written a book that's on Amazon, and it's fucking terrible because I didn't proof it. I just threw it up there to try to make a quick buck. The 2010s. Good time. Everyone was hustling. But I'm just saying, it's like these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't. They honest to God don't. I swear to Christ, if I got into a beef, like an actual conversation with Critical Drinker, I would just run circles around this guy. Not even a question, not even an issue. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Because they're not smart. They're not intelligent. They know buzzwords like a fucking parrot. That's all they have. But they're able to convey emotion. Not necessarily them themselves, okay? But they're able to hit upon those emotional triggers. This is woke. There is diversity. There is inclusion. Your white fragility is crumbling. And only I can fucking save you from this bullshit. Very fascistic if you think about it, right? Kind of. Only I can do it. Me and my cohorts of mostly white males can save all of you black and brown people and women from the subjugation of Hollywood wokeness. Then you've got like fucking DeSantis in Florida, and he's just literally like, his voice just kind of sounds like this. We're going to stop the wokeness of Florida. You know, he goes up with somebody with a fucking decent fucking baritone set of balls. It's going to smash him. It's going to smash him in the context of fucking debates. He's going to sound like this, and someone's going to be like, time to go to bed, little bitch. That's about it. Anyway, I'm, Taylor here says, I wonder what their take on Family Matters was back in the day. Here's the thing with that. I guarantee you, if you were to ask them what if they liked Carl Winslow, the answer is probably yeah. Right? The answer is probably yeah. They probably did like Carl Winslow. And I say this because when you're kids, man, positive male role model does wonders. And hatred is something that is taught. It's taught. It's something that kids mimic from their parents, but in a positive way. If they watched Family Matters back in the day, or if they watched Cosby before we all found out what the fuck happened to Bill Cosby, like having a positive male role model, is good. And they probably liked him, but then something broke in them along the way. And I'll tell you guys the biggest thing with this, the biggest reason why something broke in them like this. The reason why that is because they don't know who the fuck they are. They're chasing something they think they have to chase. They're chasing an algorithm, they're chasing a dollar, they're chasing an ideology that they ultimately don't even really care about. They just want to find a way to make people angry because they know that when people are angry, their clicks go up. And a lot of them are probably hate watchers. A lot of them are probably fucking hate watchers. As a result of that, it fuels both ways. If you don't like something, don't fucking engage with it. It's hard to do sometimes because we all like a train wreck if something is remarkably terrible. Like, I'll be honest. I will be 100% honest with you guys, okay? It's been about a month since that bullshit went down with Mad Max, okay? I still occasionally head over to Mad Max's channel to check out what's going on. I don't know why. The content's boring. His co-host doesn't want to be there. His co-owner doesn't want to be there. The people on the panel, I feel like, don't want to. Crazy Joe has finally started being the most entertaining person on Max's channel. And Joe started doing a Muppet talk show thing today with one person watching that live stream on Max's channel. One person. I shouldn't watch it. And I try not to, but it's one of those things where it's like after that bullshit, there's a bit of schadenfreude there. I'll fully admit. Watching a friend kind of go through this fucking thing after he tried to blackmail another friend and then run and hide from it, obfuscate from it, deny it constantly while also confirming that it was real. It shows you that like it's a schadenfreude. You're just like, yeah, I'm kind of enjoying watching this thing burn. And I shouldn't. That's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for him. He wants to move past it, and you know what? It's a thing, and I need to stop. But I'm also, as a former friend, I'm also fucking hurt. So it's like there's a weirdness on that thing too, because I went to bat for Max way back in the day with Andy, and it's like, and like when he got fucking. When there were the blackmail, the fucking doxing threats against Max, I called that shit out multiple times. And then he does the exact same fucking thing. And so there's a bunch of emotion in there, but it's not healthy to constantly engage with it. It's not healthy to do that. It's like making fun of Ski Walker and all those other fucking idiots. You know what I mean? All those fucking idiots. It's not healthy to make fun of them either. Because all we're doing are watching people with low IQs get themselves all worked up over something that's never going to fucking happen. That shit ain't fucking healthy. That's just me being honest with you guys. That's literally just me being honest with y'all on that front. Half of this shit ain't fucking healthy. And maybe that's the biggest problem. We're not healthy. Mentally, emotionally, fucking spiritually, if you're into that sort of thing. Karmically, whatever terminology you want to use. We're not healthy. I blame the 24/7 media cycle. I blame the if it bleeds, it leads media cycle. There's a lot that I fucking blame. But we're also a big part of the problem ourselves. And it's really difficult. It's really fucking difficult to look away when you want to see the train wreck for a multitude of reasons. And that's a big problem. You know, I was actually talking with a showrunner from a show tonight, actually, about hate watching. And, you know, and even he's like, I don't get it. Why do this to yourself? I'm like, because there's a grift out there. And if you convey emotion negatively, people will usually respond to it. You know? And again, when you have a showrunner from a show that's really popular right now, and the people that he's courting are the people who normally hate watch, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter how much you want to make something good. If you target people who are just going to be shitty, or who are shitty because you want to try to get some kind of love from their audience, it will eventually backfire. Because those people are like a forest fire that is constantly raging and constantly needs to be fed. And they do that by burning through other goddamn forests. It's how it works. It's really how it works. Anyway. Jeffrey asking, have any grifters been brought up on charges for scamming? They're not, you can't, emotionally scamming somebody isn't illegal. Anyway. Super Bad Mike says, I don't hate watch, but I do FOMO watch. What do you mean by FOMO watch? Robert Meyer Burnett. Yeah, you know, we'll talk about him here in a second. There's a super chat I want to get to that I missed. I'm sorry. I was just kind of on this rant. I'm sorry, you guys. Ryan here says, by the way, the pilot of Hell of a Boss we watched the other day, I want to show you episode 1. Yeah, I've got it queued up, man, from the other night. Yeah, I do. I remember that. We'll do it at the end, mostly because I think just like the other ones, those are going to be heavily, it's 13 minutes, and I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if it's going to make the full 13 minutes before it ends up getting pulled. That stuff is like, because if that stuff is tied into like, it's really, I think that video itself is like 74 million views. Like they're definitely checking that stuff. So I got to be more careful with that as time goes on. Anyway, let's see. There's another one here. Okay. Command Unit here says AI VTuber being sassy child to its creator. Okay. We'll take a look at that one as well. I know we're kind of getting off on the subject here. I'm really sorry, you guys, for going all cray. I just have a lot to say, you know, and a lot of it's personal. No, I know what FOMO means, but I mean, like, what is the FOMO? I don't understand what the FOMO is. You know what I mean? Like if it's having a meltdown and whatever, like, yeah, sure. That's FOMO, man. Like, I'll check that shit out. Right. But it's like, if it's someone just, I don't know what the FOMO is for like a critical drinker video. You know what I mean? You're not really going to miss out when you hear the same thing repeated to you ad infinitum for the entire video. Anyway, again, my agitation is not directed at literally anyone here. So I apologize if I'm coming across that way. It's not my intent. But again, you know, I mean, like, I'm probably going to postpone even Patio commentary this week. I'm just not feeling it. And a lot of it's just like, I'm just not feeling it. You know, I gotta figure out how to get back into that. I gotta get back into that again. It's just like, I'm just not feeling it, and I gotta get back there. And a lot of that is like, again, I've been doing like these 3-hour streams, and these 3-hour streams are fun. They're good, but that's my entire night. And then I'm exhausted afterward, you know, and I need to stay up like an hour or so after the fact so I can decompress and then actually get some sleep. Cause the other night we ended a stream and I went right to bed, and I woke up like 30 minutes later and I had a restless leg. I tossed and turned, and I was up for like 3 hours, and I just could not go back to sleep. You know what I mean? And so it's a lot. I just have to I have to decompress for a little bit. So anyway, all right. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. We'll get to that, guys. Yeah, do what you need to do. It's just crazy. An hour in and no dick jokes. How about that? Give it time. Give it time. Let's see. Leo here says them Snyder mofos are bragging about the money that went to charity. What, the 400 from those t-shirts being sold? So anyway, all right. What else did I want to get to today? Let me just kind of catch up here real quick. There's also the fucking Tears of the Kingdom, 13 minutes. I haven't even watched that yet. A lot going on here. All right. The one I wanted to get to was, I think it's, I wanted to kind of get to this. So what we have here, this is kind of funny. This is kind of speaking of where we are. Robert Meyer Burnett tweeted this out earlier today. Doomcock doesn't have the courage of his convictions. To follow him is to follow a coward. If he really believes the bullshit he peddles, he'll show you his face. If not, do not believe him. I extend an open invitation for him to come on Robservations Unmasked. Bitch, what? What the fuck? Rob, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Calling out, look, don't get me wrong, calling out Doomcock is a good thing, but going like, he won't show his face. Fuck off, man. That's such a bullshit argument at this point in time. You know what I mean? It's a bullshit argument at this point in time. All right. If you have to have somebody on there with their face in order to debate their ideas, you've already fucking lost. If you want to call him out for the bullshit on Star Trek, if you want to call him out for being fucking schooled by Ketwalski a couple years ago, if you want to call him out for the Commandant shit, by all means, fucking do it. Get him on there. Get his voice. Get his actual fucking voice. Get him talking. But this oh, come on, Unmasked unless you're cow. Fuck you. The fuck, man? You don't need, this is, what is this? Fucking medieval time shit? Now, what cracks me up about this, and the reason why I wanted to call him a hypocrite, is because he's calling out Doomcock for how Doomcock is approaching, Doomcock is calling for a boycott of anything Alex Kurtzman related to Star Trek. I think Strange New Worlds got renewed for season 3 today. Obviously, Picard is doing really well. Discovery's ending with season 5. There's it appears that Star Trek is kind of coming into its own over on Paramount Plus. And obviously, if it's doing well, there's really nothing for Doomcock to bitch about. And again, it goes back to that whole idea, that whole concept. When your entire business model is around shitting on things or lying about things, when something is good, you don't really have anything to talk about. That was why the Fandom Menace was really smart, actually, with House of the Dragon, where they were shitting on it, and then they're like, holy fuck, it's good. And then they were talking positively about it. But everyone remembers that they were dogging on it beforehand. But Doomcock's a different. His entire persona is this, I live in the center of the universe, whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, super, super bad Mike. This is my whole point. He calls out Doomcock, but he's buddy-buddy with Nerdrotic. He's gone, I think he's gone on there and he said it's an honor. He goes on to Film Threat with Chris Gore. It's an honor. Goes on to Midnight's Edge. It's an honor. What? To be a bootlicking bitch? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. You're the co-host of a show that pulls in 4,000 people a day when you were on, or whatever. And you work with a narcissist, because let's be fair, Campia is a fucking narcissist. All right. Campia ain't going to retire. He's too narcissistic. But I think he overextended, my honest opinion. But this is what I don't get about Robert Meyer Burnett. Burnett is an entertaining guy. Burnett is a smart guy. Burnett cares and is passionate about the industry. He really is. But he rolls with these people who are everything he fucking hates. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to absolutely fucking prove it. Because there is a comment that he made a little bit ago. All right. Let me see. I'm trying to find it here. This is the one right here. So this is what he put out a little bit ago. He says, fandom, here's a call to all of you. If there are creators working in IPs you love, celebrate them. Honor the work that they've done. That's the only way we will get great franchise entertainment. We have the power. We are the ones who vote with our dollars. Picard says, make it so. What about the people you say it's an honor to stream with? When you say it's an honor to stream with heel versus babyface. It's an honor to stream with Midnight's Edge. It's an honor to stream with Neurotic. An honor to stream with Geeks and Gamers, I think is what he said that too as well. People who make it a mission to shit on the entire industry, every creative that wants to do something different, every creative that's going to have their own initiative that they want to push, every creative that wants to just do their own thing that might not fall in line exactly with the color of the fucking skin or the genitals between the legs of the identity of these other chud fucks. But oh no, honor the people who do good. Hail them, right? Hail them, as you've said before to people. You like to do the fucking Roman salute, hail, or is it Nazi? I can't quite tell anymore. It's bullshit. It's hypocritical. It's lame. It's pathetic. It's sick. It's everything you fucking stand against, you bitch. Everything. Every goddamn fucking principle you fucking have being in this goddamn industry. You throw it all away every single time you fucking bootlick those Gestapo-loving motherfuckers. Every fucking time you get on one knee and you kiss the ring, maybe you tongue the taint. I don't fucking know what you're into. I don't know. You do all this shit. And you do it because you want to get their fucking audience. It's as clear as fucking day because you work with Campia. Like I said, he pulls in millions of views a month, tens of millions of views a month. He's making good money advertising wise, good money super chat wise, good money sponsorship wise. He brings you on in. The audience really likes you being there. Yet for some reason, you have not been able to grow and scale along with that show. Why is that? Why is that? Is it because it's the John Campia show? It's because you're a fucking sidekick, bro. And you know it. But you have the opportunity to break away from that. You have the opportunity to do these shows. Streaming with Zod Rider once a week with Mikey Sutton to literally like 15 people is not scaling your brand. Going on to fucking bootlicking assholes that fucking do nothing but shred down the industry that you love is not scaling your brand. There is so much goddamn confusion there because you are an identity-less motherfucker who does not have any goddamn convictions, who does not have a backbone. You have nothing. And I think that's now more apparent than ever. You don't even have an opinion worth having anymore because nothing you say has any weight because you have no convictions to hold it to. You literally are just nothing. And that's true. That's absolutely true. Robert Meyer Burnett is nothing. He's nothing without being propped up by somebody else. You know, it's kind of fun. We talk about a celebrity like that too. We do. We talk about a celebrity pretty often about that. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's very similar. He's nothing without being propped up by somebody else. We know this. And again, that's not up for debate. It's a weird mindset. You want to talk about entertainment. I want to talk about entertainment. We want to talk about things that we love. Why the fuck? Why the fuck would you go in to these live streams with these people who do nothing but shit on every little aspect of the industry? An industry that they've never set fucking foot in. An industry that they've only dreamed of being a part of. An industry that they have no logical, fundamental, or rational understanding of. Oh, but they're great content creators. They fucking understand how they understand how. Fuck you. Fuck you. You fucking spineless sellout cuck. That's what the fuck you are. It's pathetic. It's sad. And it's hypocritical. But that's what this shit breeds. That's what this shit breeds. Because it's easier to chase that fucking dollar than it is to stand by your own goddamn convictions. You want to bitch and moan about fucking Doomcock not showing his face? How about all the times you go on those streams and you roll over and you show your belly? Oh, just rub my belly. I'm Robert Meyer Burnett. Oh my gosh. You're all so great. Tickle me a little bit. Oh my God, the red rocket's coming out. It's this kind of shit that has really made me question about just ending my own show, because nothing matters anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not, I'm not quitting, but it's like, I've thought about it. 'Cause it's like, there's no integrity. It feels like in many instances, you think you got your friends, but they try to blackmail your other friends. Right? You try to put up a fight against fucking misinformation. It doesn't matter. People don't want to hear it. They just go back in their little fucking hidey holes and they just pretend that nothing else matters and nothing else changes. You see people literally, legitimately spewing hatred constantly, getting people worked up, riled up, angry all the time about every little fucking thing. And you wonder if that's going to lead to something terrible happening, because that is just the fucking tinderbox of a society we live in. Do you not think yesterday in Tennessee had something to do with some of the bullshit going on recently? Do you not think that we're in some ways, like, I don't want to say we're at a tipping point. I'm not going to say civil war. It's bullshit, but I mean acts of actual violence. What if somebody gets so fucking worked up over there being a black elf in Lord of the Rings that they go and they do something? What if they're so mad about this fear of CRT? Because that was a fucking buzzword last year, right? 2 years ago, whatever. CRT this, CRT that. And they're like, oh my God, critical race theory. They're going to indoctrinate our children, yada, yada, yada. Right? But they're fucking super into old ass Tolkien. They read it growing up. It's a source of joy for them. But then they go and they watch a Nerdrotic video and he's like, they might bring in CRT into the Lord of the Rings show. But he's already got this negative association with critical race theory, not understanding that it's not being taught in Florida schools. And he gets mad. He gets worked up. And then they go, but there's also a black elf and a black dwarf, and it's all woke. It's all diverse. Now the two become correlated. They do. This is how it happens. It becomes correlated. So their physical pain that they feel from something that they love as a child being threatened by the modern age, which is only a machination of their own design. Now that becomes something that has a tangible, real figure. What if they get mad? What if they get pissed? What if they decide that they've had enough of this woke, idealistic bullshit? Not understanding what it is they're upset about, really. Not realizing that's an internal thing, but they think it's an external thing. And you know what you get? You get Edgar M. Welch. That name may not mean a lot to you. Okay? That name may not mean much. December 2016. I think it was December 16th, 2016. Edgar M. Welch walked into Comet Ping Pong Pizzeria with a gun, with a rifle, looking for an underground child sex dungeon that he had heard about on places like InfoWars and other parts of the internet that were spewing bullshit called Pizzagate. He went in there, I think fired off one round to scare the place out, and tried to find James Alefantis, the guy who owned Comet Ping Pong, apparently like the 27th most powerful man in DC, whatever the fuck. They wanted to find this underground child sex dungeon that traffics in children in adrenochrome. 4 years he spent in federal prison. I think he recently just got out. That man is going to be synonymous with taking shit too fucking far. Think about 2016 to J6 to where the fuck we are now. All I'm saying, people out there who look the other way, people like Robert Meyer Burnett, who are just fucking jesters, who could be more, who should be more, but are so afraid of actually standing up for their industry, for their friends, for their colleagues, for their probably family members, for their legacy, for their own desires, their own hopes, their own dreams, the future of filmmaking. He might not be happy with where the industry is going, and that's fine. A lot of us aren't. But that's more of an executive issue versus people who are just working on these shows trying to get a fucking paycheck. Sorry. I'm like way off rant tonight, I guess. Anyway. Fuck Robert Meyer Burnett. He's a spineless coward. If I were Doomcock, I would laugh at him. Because, bitch, what are you going to fucking do? Get mad at him on Twitter? You're going to get mad at him on Twitter? Here's the funny thing. People get mad at Doomcock all the time on Twitter. You know what he does? He just fucking leaves Twitter. Nerdrotic pisses off people all the fucking time. Terminally online Twitter folk. Who I keep telling them, that's not going to have anything to do. Here's the thing, Robert. If you happen to be listening, or if someone happens to be passing this along, all right? Here, if anything, just say this. Doomcock going on your show does not benefit Doomcock. At all. Me going on to Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, any of those guys, does not benefit them at all. Because they are on the defensive. They're from a position of power. They're trying to hold that power. They're on the defensive. They're not going to willfully walk into a situation that's going to end up looking bad for them. You fight them where the battlefield is. If you've got the play, and if you've got the power, and if you've got the say, use John fucking Campea to start calling these knuckle-dragging chuckle fucks out. Because that has more power, more play, and more spread in the YouTube algorithm. Because that's what they hide behind. That's what they've got that protects them. Emotionally driven outrage content that's largely bullshit. You, twice a week at least, are on a fucking platform that reaches tens of millions of views a month. Or at least millions of views a month. That can be some kind of fundamental change. Waking people up. You want to fucking actually do something? That's how you fucking do it. That's how you fucking do it. You take a fucking stand. You draw a goddamn line in the sand and you say no fucking more. Fuck these people. Name them. Put it out there. Let it get caught in the algorithm. Let it pop up in the fucking recommended feeds of the other people that are watching that bullshit. And that's how you cure the disease. You don't flag them. You don't ban them. You don't silence them. You use their tactics against them. But it requires a lot of people. It requires a lot of people to have the gall, to have the courage, and to have the fucking wherewithal to delve into that shit. As much as I like Dane from Actual Fandom, they don't have it. Not right now. And going after Eric July is not, in my mind, he responds, which is probably why it's the best thing. But there's other tactics. I simply am too apathetic at this point to fucking take that shit on again. It's just where it is. Here's the thing about that, Matt. Grace Randolph calling out these guys, it doesn't benefit her. It doesn't benefit her. It just simply doesn't. She's bigger than all of them in many instances combined. Right? She's bigger than all of them. It doesn't benefit her to get into that fight. Because you got to think about it from like where's the benefit? Right? Where's the benefit? If she wanted to fight, she'd have a great platform to do it, but it doesn't benefit her. She'll brave whatever controversy comes along on Twitter, because she knows it's just Twitter. But no, otherwise it's like, you got to I don't know. I think it's a lost cause at this point, to be fair. I do. I think it's a lost cause. It's so hard to find positive content to watch on YouTube. It's so hard to find positive movie content. It really is. It really is. And maybe I just need to change where I'm looking. I don't know. I need to refresh my own algorithm and stuff like that and just find maybe other stuff and then try to go down that path. But it's just like, you know, I care. I think that's the biggest thing is I care. I care a lot about this goddamn industry. I care a lot about people who work in it. I have friends who work in the industry who work all the time on stuff. They're blood, sweat, tears, 16 hours a day to work on something for some fucking man-tittied asshole to sit in his fucking mother's basement and go, it sucks, and completely denigrate all the months of work they put into this shit. I mean, that's par for the course, but god damn it. God fucking damn it, man. Anyway. So, all right. This has been one of my more aggressive takes. Well, yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. McLeodry says, Robert Meyer Burnett only likes Picard season 3 because of the member berries, even though I'd argue that the fan service so far has been done masterfully and with respect while adding more and lifting up Trek. That's good. I need to see it. I haven't seen any of it yet. Hard work doesn't earn you an A+. Yeah, thank you. It's true. Unky Claw. I enjoy watching Matthew get angry. I could get a lot angrier, but I don't want to wake my kids up. He sasses the shit out of these goobers. I mean, I'm good at what I do on that front, but they all ignore me. You know, they all know. And that's fine. I'm not afraid of any of them. I don't give a fuck. I would love nothing more than to go on to their live stream and call them that shit to their fucking face and get them to the point where they'd have to fucking boot me. You know? But again, it doesn't take a genius to do this shit. All right. It really doesn't. It's just they've come into a space and they've kind of fundamentally destroyed it. And it's a virus, and that's where they are. And we've been here for years. And I gave into it too in the beginning with The Last Jedi. But like, you know, I've said today, even I'm like, look, I fucking still dislike The Last Jedi, but goddamn, I love Solo. I love Andor. I love Rogue One. I love Mando. I love Bad Batch. You know, I mean, like I still love Star Wars. You know what I mean? I'm critical over what I don't like, but I'm going to praise what I do. And there's far more that I do like. Anyway. All right. Sorry, guys. That was let's see. Hold on. Would John Campy ever entertain Robert Meyer Burnett having Alex Jones on his show? Because Robert Meyer Burnett would be in love with Jones. Burnett strikes me as a dumb both sides guy. He's kind of, I mean, he definitely is a both sides guy, right? If he had Alex Jones on, he'd be like, it's an honor. Like, Darkness here says Matt will scream like crazy. Yeah, I will probably do that. I'll fully admit. Nathan here says the type of movie content I prefer on YouTube are YouTubers like Jeremy Johns. I like Jeremy's energy. I can't personally stand the editing. I don't like jump cuts, man. Allow me time to process what you say. I think he's got good takes, but I would love it if, and I know he's got ADD or ADHD, and that kind of speaks to why he does the way that he does. And I understand that, and I'm not going to admonish him for that. But the way I process information, it just operates on such a different level. So it's hard for me to watch him, but I respect the hell out of his hustle. He actually lives Seattle. I mean, I'm only an hour away. I'd love to talk to them and to pick his brain. What about Red Letter Media? Fuck them. I will admit I like their review. I like their review stuff. But I think even they've admitted, as I've been told, that their Plunkett reviews have kind of hurt things. And they're also largely negative. And that's one of the reasons why I don't watch them. Is like, I do enjoy the review because I think the review is taking a critical look at movies, but also talking about things that they enjoy. Like I just watched last week, their review on Kids in the Hall Brain Candy, which is a movie I really enjoyed back in the 90s. And it's definitely like a crazy movie, but they had a lot of good things to say about it and a lot of interesting things to say about it. It's actually one of the things that inspires Podio commentary, to be honest with you. I think I just need to get guests for Podio commentary, and that's kind of where my biggest flaw is, because I don't like to ask anyone anything. I like to just do it all myself, and that ends up kind of biting me in the ass. Commanding here says movie react channels are typically positive. Yeah, I mean, the thing with movie react channels is like, for me, I thought about doing that once. A big problem with that is the copyright stuff gets me. It just bothers the fuck out of me. You know, all that effort, all that work, right? And it's like bleh, copyright shit. It's like, you know, I get super chats, and that's kind of my main thing. But at the same time, when it comes to the super chat stuff, you know, it's like, that's kind of the expectation, right? Like, we're talking, it's a live stream, so on and so forth. However, I already know that because of how often I swear and the jokes that I make, oftentimes I'm not going to get a lot of good adverts on the show. So that's where the difference is, you know? And movie reacting just takes a long fucking time, dude. It's like, I've tried watching some of that stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know. You know, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, we all have different. I heard these two British guys, like, just talking about, like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It was like a 47-minute review of just them talking about it. And I listened to the whole goddamn thing. I've never seen the fucking movie. I've never seen the movie, but I listened to them talk about it for like 45 minutes. Like, that was pretty good. That was entertaining. You know, I subscribed and everything else. I forget what they're called, but, like, you know, I haven't seen anything from them in a while. I got to go back and double check. Hold on here. What do I think of the reaction channels like Popcorn in Bed and Natalie Gold and Nikki and Steven Reacts? I don't know who they are. I know people out there enjoy the reaction because the reaction, there's a connection there. Like, I get that. I understand that. There's a connection there, you know, and it's like trailer reactions and whatnot, right? Like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I have to, like, be like, when I watch a movie, I like to be in the space. I don't want to be thinking about lights and camera and microphone and whether or not I'm reacting properly. For me, when I watch these things, I want to be in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be in it. And then later on, I can talk about it and I can get all animated about it. But it's like, for me, that's where it's at. You know, that's how I have to experience them. And so I have trouble with those kind of content just because for me, that's always the issue. You know, let's see. Jeffrey Brown says, I've been mostly watching Maximilian Dude, mostly watching him play Resident Evil games and fighting games. Yeah, I've been, like, tonight, for example, I was showing my kids, we were listening to some 80s music, right? We were just like, you know, we were just playing some music, you know, like Kansas and Boston and whatever. I even played Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill, for my daughter, and I'd actually played it for her a few months ago when season 4 of Stranger Things had come out, so almost a year ago now. And she's listening to the song, and she's like, I'm like, do you remember the song? And she's like, no. And then it gets to the part when Kate Bush is like, running up that hill. She goes, oh yeah, running up the hill. Yeah, I love this song. She's 5, but she remembers that. So that's a memory for her, which is great. And then afterward, I brought up Beat Saber videos, and we sat down and we watched like an hour of Beat Saber videos. And my 3-year-old was like, whatever. She went off to go do her own thing. My 5-year-old cuddled up with me on the chair. She cuddled up with me on the chair, and she got all, like, snuggled right in to my arm. And as a dad, I love that, man. I love when my kids do that. And so she cuddles up right on my arm, and we're just watching this, right? And I put on Through the Fire and the Flames to watch this girl do Through the Fire and the Flames. And this girl, man, like, she did it. It's like Otter Plays or whatever her name was. And like, but my daughter was into it, man. My daughter loved the song. She loved Through the Fire and the Flames. She thought that was a great track. And we watched a bunch of those videos. And then even my girlfriend came out. She watched a bunch of them too. And she's like, she looks at me. She's like, you have got to get this. And I'm like, I got to get VR. Okay. I don't even know how to work VR. So, you know, but yeah, it's like, it looks like fun. And my daughter and my girlfriend even were like into it. It's like, so the part, you know, like, you can find the joy and stuff. I think you just have to look. Anyway. Let's see. Throg says, why don't you try to push your channel with more positive content and creators? It would be a screw in the back when those successful negative idiots, but also R&B. I think part of the problem with that is not, like, I know that I get a little bit with the thumbnail, right? You got to be a little sexy and whatnot. I try to be funny, cheeky. Usually I'm cheeky in the thumbnail. You have to remember, I'm usually cheeky in the thumbnail and whatnot. Especially if it's like something I can piss off like Zack Snyder fans with or whatever. That's always fun. I like Zack Snyder, but I'm pissing off a very specific subsect of his fans, just to be clear. That being said, when I look at all this shit, it just doesn't track. You know what I mean? It just doesn't register in many ways because people don't look for that. Like, it's part of the problem is also like channel branding. People become used to a certain thing. And any guru, any YouTube coach, guru, whatever, will always tell you, don't fucking deviate. If something works, dive into it multiple. Just dive in head over first. Because it's not about creating a community that wants to grow with you. In many instances, it's about creating a community that dictates the choices that you make. And the more vocal ones are the ones who dictate the choices that you make. Okay? Let's say, for example, I'll use this as a prime example because I share a lot of viewers. Max. Max will allow people to make choices that he will follow if they pay him money, which for, on a capitalistic scale, I get, but it's like they pay him $1 a month and they're just dicks. And he's like, well, I can't get rid of them. They pay me money, but they don't add any fucking value. They don't add any value. Look, I love all you guys that are in here, but if you guys are out there being a dick, right? Completely being a dick, I'd fucking get rid of you. We've done that before. You had Anthony Chabot, who was like fucking messaging me constantly, bitching about my kids going to school. And he's made actual like threats about me too on Twitter. I know, because I get sent them. Eddie Evolution, who was like sexually harassing Saggy in DMs, and we told him to stop, and found out that he was doing this to a bunch of women, sending them like, responding inappropriately. If a person's a dickhead, we get rid of the dickhead. That's just how it works. But the problem though is that those other communities are just full of dickheads and they all love to just fucking dock each other. Let's see here. Fourth here says, why not put aside the dick jokes and get sponsors? You can't complain about the space, but refuse to grow if you can. That's the thing. And you're right. I was talking about this actually with Benson the other day. And Benson's like, hey, why don't you get a sponsor? And I'm like, because I make a lot of fucked up jokes. All right. Like, I make a lot of fucked up jokes. I do that. But that's also my personality. So if I were to get rid of a lot of that shit, if I were to get rid of all that shit, I wouldn't be me. Let's just be fair. I wouldn't be me. I like to play that crap up. I think it's funny. But you're right. It is a game. And that's part of the problem. So it is, it's something, it's something you have to worry about. So there's all that. McLeodry says, holy fuck, I just forgot about Chabot. Yeah, no, he's still around. He's still around. He's still around. I got messaged last week about some shitty, actually, I'll tell you what, I will show you guys this real quick. I will show you guys this thing real quick. It's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. By the way, we got like over 117 people watching. So if you guys like crack that like, we got 37. Let's get to 50. Let's get to motherfucking 50. So, all right, let me see if I could find it here. So if I go to my channel and I go to comments and I look at mentions, here we go. Okay. Check this out, right? I don't get a lot of mentions on here. I got this, right? Anthony Chabot 5 days ago. All right. Look at this here. I still hate Moneyboy290, right? $3 Theater and other that fuck with me. And I still hated them all. 5 days ago. 5 days ago. Okay. Before that, 3 weeks ago. Again, right. He says here, what's this? I hate, again, all these people, right? Okay. I hate all these guys, right? Money Boy. I don't know who any fuck these guys are. And the ringleader of them all, $3 Theater, they're all jerk off and they need to touch grass. Honorable mention. You are all on my shit list. Trump 2024. You know, that's what I'm talking about. But then you get this one right here. And this is, it might be gone. It might be gone. Is it? No, it's still there. You get this one right here. $3 Theater, M Jarbo 1 year later, road to 600 subs. It's just, this is the kind of crazy shit. This is the kind of crazy shit, you know? And it's like, I don't pay him any mind. This is the most attention I've given him in a long time. But again, it's like, this is a problem when you have people that become emotionally invested in a creator. It becomes a very parasocial relationship. And people out there start to kind of demand too much. And they get upset when they don't get their way. They get upset when they don't get what they want. And that's a big problem with this fucking space. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of laugh about that real quick. So, oh, I guess, oh, okay. Okay. I'm just now getting notified about that stream with the other guys talking about Dave Pena. Why go after Dave? Dave's a good dude. You don't need to go after Dave at all. But all right, let me just catch up with where I'm at here, because I want to make sure that we're way off track. I actually really wanted to get on track tonight. I really wanted to get us to a place where we could be on track. But unfortunately that did not fucking happen, guys. So why don't we just move on, and we'll talk a bit about Ben Affleck. All right. Spoiling part of the Flesh. Command Unit here says, you watch them too much. I just ignore them. I actually don't really watch them. I watch I get clips. I get clips sent to me, and that's pretty funny. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. X-Wing fighters stay on topics. Exactly. I'm always bad. I got worked up. I just got worked up, guys. That's all it is. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I know you guys come here to hang out, and it goes crazy. All right, Command Unit here for 5. Thank you. Says, do you watch Bill I Am? I don't know who that is. I need to really expand my horizon. There's that. Also here, Garrick, real quick. I missed this one. Sorry, Garrick. It says Lauren Chen has her own channel where she reviews woke movies. Sargon also talks about them from time to time. Yeah, I know. My old Gamergate pals, culture war buddies. Sargon, who just got the Lotus Eaters channel demonetized, like his 4th main channel to get taken down. Don't even know why. Haven't thought about Sargon in forever. I do know roaming millennial Lauren Chen, who I have met on a couple of occasions. I know that she reviews woke movies. It's so weird. It's all fake, right? I overheard Lauren Chen in a conversation about eugenics when I was at an event back in 2018. So, I kind of know I kind of get where she stands on things, right? I really wonder what her take on phrenology is. But again, it's all grift, right? It's all a grift, guys. That's all it is. What do I think of Roxy Stryer? Oh my God. Oh man. Roxy Stryer is an interesting one because I respect her hustle, but I you know what? It's just, how do I say this? I respect the hustle, but it's like there's no passion there. Right? There's no passion there for her. If you really watch, she's like, her chat comes in and the chat's like, whatever. Right? She does 45-minute streams. Good for her. Right? She'll her chat will ask her questions. She'll be like, streamelements.com/Roxy Stryer. I'm like, look, I love support from the audience. I'm very thankful of support from the audience, but I think you know what? You gotta fucking, you can't just, they're not a fucking piggy bank. All right. They're not a fucking piggy bank. Okay. I understand the whole paying for time shit, whatever. I get that. But it's like, if so, you want to your audience supports you because they like you. Not because I don't know, maybe they're simping for Roxy. I got no idea. You know what I mean? I got titties too, but they ain't that nice. I'm just saying, it's like that fucking your audience supports you because they care about you. They like you. But to just sit there and ignore their questions and go, you got to pay me. I have trouble with that, man. I do. It's why I'm not a fan of putting anything behind a fucking paywall, even though I probably should. I've been instructed by multiple people to do that. But it's such a weird concept. Like, I appreciate all of you guys being here. You know, if you can support, great. The best you could do is hit a like or share. You know, really, it's about it. I'd love to scale this thing. Again, not that I want to dwell on the money factor, but like I keep saying, it's like the probably the best course of action would be to like Patreon that shit, because then it's like, it's consistent and that will scale. And then that becomes more livable without the 30% to YouTube. And that's just the reality of it. But yeah, otherwise, I'm just, you know, it is what it is. Roxy Stryer is kind of greedy. I mean, like from her perspective, okay, like here's what I think about that, right? So realistically speaking, she lives in LA. She's got to pay rent in LA, which is fucking insane. She worked for Collider. She was getting paid by Collider. That went under. Now she's freelance. So now she's got to find a way to live off of the money that she gets from her audience. So there's a hustle on that front. Now, I don't know what else she's been up to. I know she's done, I think she's in like a movie. I saw something she said like in her stream, you know, whatever. But like her Live at the Roxy shows are largely just kind of boring. And there's like really not a lot there. And she'll go off on like, I go off on diatribes, but I at least try to be entertaining about it. I at least get passionate. I at least get it, you know, get into it. And she'll be like, you know, it's like her audience are very, you know, I don't think there's any kind of disagreements that happen amongst her audience, to be fair. But at the same time, as I get the hustle, you know what I mean? And I don't know what she's doing. I think she's maybe doing some stuff with Christian Harloff and shit. And I don't even see Christian Harloff like being around for that much longer, man. I feel like in general, like a lot of the movie talk show stuff is really going to kind of move away from where they currently are, because it's like, Campy is king of the hill. Once Campy retires, it will probably go to Harloff. But even then, there's going to be a power vacuum for a little bit. And that's even if Campy fucking retires. I have no idea. Let's see. Fandom NSLs here says, YouTube benefiting grifters who monetize hate clicks instead of people who actually love movies reminds me of what Frank Grimes said to Homer Simpson about what's wrong with America. I mean, it's not wrong. That's not wrong. You know, that's really not wrong. There's a lot of, there's a lot going on there with that stuff. But again, that's, you know, the Frank Grimes episode of The Simpsons is like 30 years old. And if people always go, oh, The Simpsons are really good at predicting things. No, The Simpsons just mocked modern society, which is extremely cyclical. It is. Society is cyclical. You know, certain things come back around all the time. It's like a fucking boomerang. You throw it out there. It might be gone for a while, but it's going to come back. And so they're good at that. And that's really what it boils down to. Let's see. Nerdy Mastermind said, YouTubers only think support is when someone has their wallet open. People are taking time out of their day to watch or listen to you as well. It's true. And yes, and I could be better about a bunch of shit, but I really, really do try to like read the chat and engage with the chat and get to know you guys and things like that. I do. And I talk to a lot of people off air as well. I talk to a lot of people in different DMs pretty frequently. Some people I've had to tell to like kind of slow the roll on how often they DM me, but that's just mostly because of my OCD. Let's see. Jeffrey Brown. Interesting comment. I've been a cam model for a while. Well, I have been quite entertaining. I have seen some things. Let's see, this is a curious, like, I'm curious as to what, but that's just the way my brain works. And good. I mean, yeah, we're all going to see stuff in a whole bunch of different environments. You're going to see things I won't see. So there's that. But there's that. Blargan says, wait, that Anthony guy in the chat was the same Anthony who was Collins a time ago. He seemed like such a nice guy. Again, it became Anthony. I'm not saying Anthony's a bad guy. Anthony's just, he's got developmental issues, right? Learning disabilities, things like that. And a lot of people were really supportive of that, you know, and they take the time to talk to him and whatever, but it's like there becomes this demand for time. There's a demand for time. And Anthony felt like he was owed time. And then when that time went away, or if he didn't get what he wanted, he gets upset. And that's a big factor. He's threatened me so many times now. Like he even just the other day was like he was like, he looked up that I live in Olympia and he's like, oh, I'm going to come to Olympia. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, why? What are you going to fucking do? You know, I mean, like, you're going to come to my house and then get what? Like fucking beaten with a shovel? Like, what the fuck, bro? Why would you even say that? Why would you even remotely make that claim? Even if you're saying it in jest, if you're like, I'm going to come to Olympia and give him fucking noogies. I didn't think it was okay when Robert Meyer Burnett was like, I can come into your house and tell you about going to Evergreen State College. Like, bitch, I just deliver food there. You know? Like, what's up with people trying to, like, want to come into my house, man? I fucking live in the woods. Leave me alone. Yeah, so it is, yeah, not to mention he got upset that my daughter was in preschool and, like, thought I was lying about that. I'm like, don't mention my kids, bro. Darth here asking, I like Max, but why does he wear a mask? He wears a mask to protect his identity. I think, okay, I'll explain this about Max. This is my take, at least. Max has a job that he doesn't like. He talks to people that he doesn't like. He has to bottle up a lot of his feelings because of his job. So he wears a mask and he goes on the internet and he can say shit without there being any kind of repercussion. But like I've told them before, I'm like, you are now going after people, or, you know, he was, who know your name and who have your picture. It's like you're playing with fire. Stop it. Stop it. But again, I think deep down, I think he wants to be exposed, if you want my honest opinion. Because I think even he's tired of wearing the mask. I really do. I think he's even tired of wearing the mask. It's not going to matter. Max he's feckless. There's nothing to worry about there. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to worry about there. No one is going to be, no one's going to freak out about Max ever. No one's worried about Max ever. You know? It's just not. This is what it is. Say house. Thank you. The command unit here for two says, say hey to Zeus for me. Yeah. Say hey to Zeus. Hey, Zeus. Do I look Puerto Rican to you, motherfucker? Fucking line from Die Hard with the Vengeance. Hey, Zeus. You know what's so funny is when I first saw Die Hard with the Vengeance, I did not know that Jesus was a name. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Jesus was a Hispanic name. And so when I saw Die Hard with the Vengeance for the first time, when he says, hey, Zeus, I heard, hey, Zeus, his actual name. So when he made the comment about, do I look Puerto Rican? I went like, I was like, what? I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. And that wasn't until I got older and I realized, I'm like, oh shit. I had no idea. We all wear our own masks. Yeah. Thank you, Ben Stein. Thank you, Ben Stein, for making that joke. Funniest goddamn thing Ben Stein has said in years, by the way. It's because I know it's because I live in Olympia. Yes, I know it's because I live in Olympia. Why is Jesus spelled like Jesus? I don't know. They want to be closer to God? I have no fucking idea. But you know, hey, it's all good. Oh man. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. So where are we at? Let's get back into this shit. Because I'm going to cover this real quick. I'm probably not going to get to like the Snyder thing because my voice is starting to go. But Ben Affleck was talking about doing Batman. So we're going to listen to this. And there is going to be a spoiler for The Flash. Right? But I want you guys to hear him talk about it. Okay? I think many of you probably kind of figured something like this was going to happen, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So come back in like 5 minutes if you don't want to see this or mute it or whatever. I'm just giving you all fair warning. But this is Affleck on the Smartless podcast.
For The Flash, and everybody was like freaking out when you came on the screen.
You know what? That movie's good.
I hear it's amazing.
That movie's
it looks
really good.
I hear that movie's
they
fucking
made a
great.
good.
I love that.
And it's my best shit I've done. I finally figured out how to play the guy.
No, really?
I got it.
For real?
I was like, hold on. I quit. I know I quit. And I know I came back to it. But I got it now. It's like, when you do the audition and you're on your way home and you're like, no.
Wait, what was the moment?
Yes,
Why did the penny drop? What happened?
I mean, I don't want to give a spoiler, but it was a scene where I get caught. I get saved by Wonder Woman during a conflagration with some bad guys.
Yeah.
And she saves me by, I mean, I'm sure I'm like the spoiler, DC assassins.
She saves you in some way.
She saves me with the lasso of truth.
Yeah. Sure.
And so what happens is that Batman divulges, some of his real feelings.
Yeah.
About his life and his work. And
it helped you see the character, and now you want another chance to play it.
And I was like, wait a minute, I got it. Am I still? Wait, can I, guys?
Are we still rolling? Can we write another
story of my fucking life?
By the way,
that.
Ben, one time I remember years ago, and I asked him about it. I remember Alec Baldwin told me.
So what's fascinating about that is that Ben, look, I'm just going to say it. I think Ben is going to come back as Batman. I know I'm put no faith, put no stock in that. But you can't listen to that specific little blurb right there and not hear that there's some giddiness in his voice. And he even makes the joke like, can we do another? I finally figured him out. Can we do another? It's like, there's no scoop. This is just a gut intuition. It kind of sounds like he wants to come back. And I'll say this, and I'll say it. I'll stand by it. I say it. If you bring back Ben Affleck as Batman, and you still got Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, motherfucker, you better bring back Henry. Okay? You got to bring back Henry. I'll say it. Even though I think it's all done and over with. I think it's all done and over with. I think it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all done. All right? But I still think you got to fucking do it. You got to bring back Henry if you're going to go that route. And I know. There's a lot of problems with that because there's a lot of baggage. A lot of mustache shit. But I think Ben wants, look, man, Ben's coming in on this movie, this Air movie that opens up next week. And this movie is going to I think it's going to be big. Not as big as Mario. But it's going to do well. You know what I mean? It's going to do well with dads who love basketball. People who had Air Jordans when they were, younger. And believe me, I remember the craze for Air Jordans. I played 3. You may not believe this about me because I'm a bit of a rotund fat motherfucker. Okay. But I played 3 years of baseball and I played 3 years of basketball, all while doing scouts at the same time. I was an active fat kid, but I was active. And, and I've always loved basketball. So back in the day, man, I wanted a pair of Air Jordans, and I wanted like the Nike, the ones with the little pump thing too, right? The little pump fucking whatever they're called, like, pardon me, my shoe's out of air, whatever that fuck, I forget what that shit is. It's in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Great Dave Chappelle bit. I that shit was big back then. I want to see Air. I'm not even like, it just like, I'm from Portland. I'm from Tigard and from Beaverton, and Nike's home office is in Beaverton. My best friend's house was down the street. So like, this movie is kind of personal on that level. I just want to see my fucking home state represented and shit. And it looks like a good movie. So, I mean, yeah, I'm going to go see that. Definitely going to go see that one. Jarbo was probably juicing in baseball. No, I was a fucking outfielder. The Reebok pumps. Thank you, DC. The Air Jordans are overrated now. Yeah, no, Nike fucking sucks. Let's be fair. Nike fucking sucks. But really quick, back on the subject of Affleck. Even Momoa, I think today, some interview with Momoa, he expressed interest in continuing to play Arthur Curry, that there'd been interest in wanting to keep going, and he thinks that there's going to be more Aquaman. I'm like, okay, guys, Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, like literally, what are you doing? Are you bringing everybody back? It sounds, look, I mean, if Ezra stays, if the Flash does well, Ben wants another go. Jason thinks he's staying around. Gal is still in it. The only missing element of it is Henry. Because fuck Ray Fisher. That's also where I'm at with that one too. I don't care if you like recast Ray Fisher. The guy's he's a diva. Fuck him. But it's no, flat out, man. Like it just like, because here's the thing I don't like about that mindset, right? For one, will that include Zack Snyder? The answer to that is no, it won't. Will then that be accepted by the fan base? The answer to that is also no, it won't. If Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi are working with James Gunn and Peter Safran to find a way to bring these characters back in some capacity, like you can't leave out Henry Cavill. Now, after what happened with Henry, that's going to be a hell of a thing. But you can't leave out Henry Cavill. Like, you can't do it. So, I mean, you know, McLeod says, then what would that mean for Superman Legacy? Gunn said they wanted a younger Superman. I don't even know. I don't even know. As Zack Snyder pointed out the other day, all that shit's above my pay grade. I got no idea. But it just sounds to me, that clip, Ben sounded giddy. He sounded good. I know he's amping it up and shit like that, but he's like, give me one more. You know? I don't think he's in a better place than he was. He's in a better place than he was. You know? And I think he wants a chance at redemption. And dude, if the Flash blows up, I mean, come the fuck on. If the Flash blows up, there's no reason why they can't figure out a way to make it do it, you know. Now, super bad Mike here says, keeping the actors will only fuel Snyder fans more. I think they want to be rid of it all. I agree. And you know, here's the thing, they should, but there's always going to be a part of me, no matter what it is, that's going to be like, what if, you know? Like, because I love Man of Steel, and I love Batman v Superman, and I fucking love Zack Snyder's Justice League. I just fucking hate, like, a decent amount of the fan base. Anyway, that was just a fucking, you know, that was just a scoop. That's not a scoop. That's just a thought. Let's see. McLeod says, do you think he was just fucking around and stirring the pot? I mean, they're joking around, obviously. All right, like they're joking around, obviously, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with any of that stuff. Matt's right. They have no choice but to continue the DCEU. I mean, I don't know what they're going to be doing. I have no idea. Samir says, I don't understand the love for Batfleck. I just really enjoy Affleck's take on it. I always have. Back in 2013, when he was announced as being Batman, a lot of people were upset. They were. And then I think it was like a month later, Gal Gadot was cast as Wonder Woman. And people were like, oh my God, they hated it. She doesn't look anything like Wonder Woman. Now they're just like, Mamacita, you know? Let's see. Captain Biggin says that wasn't a spoiler. That was a romantic moment between Wonder Woman and Batman. So you mean part of the movie that we didn't know about yet? So a spoiler? Anyway, I mean, they had really good chemistry in Joss Whedon's version. They did. They had a lot of good chemistry. You're like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. Batman's going to smash. He's going to get some of that. Goober here says, would rather just move forward with a new cast. Yep. Benson here says, Flash will palm and that will finally end the nonsense. It won't, Benson, and you know it. Let's see. He had one decent scene, the fight scene. That's it. The rest was tripe. I disagree, Ambassador. I disagree. But anyway, it's all opinions. We'll have to wait and see how that whole thing plays out. All right, here, because again, my voice is, I'm starting to feel the crunch of the sinuses. So let's get in here to the last story. New X-Files is being made from Ryan Coogler. Why? Nothing against Ryan Coogler. I think he's a great talent. But why? I mean, finish X-Files, give us a definitive ending, end the story of Mulder and Scully, which I don't know if they did with the last show or not. I don't think they did. And then go from there. You know what I mean? Like, or pass the fucking torch. But it's like, that's the thing though, with the age of the internet and everything else, like the unknown of rumor and myth and technology kind of coming together. The original really, really touched upon something at the time that was just like, it just worked, you know? And so, we'll have to wait and see here. Wait, hold on, Benson. You really think The Flash will make $300 million at the box office? Domestically? Maybe. Domestically. But no, it's not total. Not total at all. All right, let's find out what we have here. So, break out your sunflower seeds and I want to believe posters. The X-Files are due to be reopened again, according to original series creator Chris Carter. It says here that there's a revival of the X-Files in the works, with none other than Creed and Black Panther writer-director Ryan Coogler leading the charge. Saying here, I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. You know, so it says, while Carter didn't share any other details about what sounds like either a reboot or legacy sequel series in development, the interview was largely about the show's Vancouver filming locations. He did add that Coogler has his work cut out for him because we've covered so much territory. That's very true. That's very true. I think it's definitely, it's got its work cut out for it 100%. Again, the thing I think we have to remember here about this is, you know, the X-Files is very much rooted in 90s, right? Nostalgia, member berries, the society of the time. You know, it definitely did its thing. But like, it's not that I have an issue with this or whatever, and I get it, but it's like Chris Carter, like, yeah, it's being rebooted by Ryan Coogler with a diverse cast, and I'm just looking at him like, could you not say something that's going to end up like, could you just cut out the diverse part and then just focus on Ryan Coogler? Let it set in for a little bit before you give the chuds ammo to attack it. Because you know they're going to attack it. Now look, Chris Carter is definitely not connected to any of the shit. And I think Coogler's going to do a fine job. You know, I just hope it's not Jordan Peele's The Twilight Zone. You know, that did not bode well. Which is weird because he's such a good director that Twilight Zone you figure would have been better, but it just wasn't. I don't know. I mean, you know, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? You know, I mean, is it going to be all like online hoaxes and online theories? I mean, there was a show that did that. They did Freaky Links back in 2001, I think. And that was a show from the guys who made the Blair Witch Project. And it had Ethan Embry in it. And it was about tracking down urban legends and things people hear about on the internet. You know, it was very internet based at the time. So I don't know. Sorry. I'm already starting to feel everything. Yellow Flash already did. Of course he did. Of course he did. Yellow Flash is a racist. 100%. I mean, look, he plays when, I don't know if he is or isn't, but he plays when on the internet pretty well. So, let's see here. Anyway, where are we at? Where are we at right now? We are, yeah, that's basically about it. All right. Let's see here. Ambassadorial says, I'm not going to attack, obviously. I just don't care. After the first movie, I stopped watching the OG series. I kind of get that. I remember when I saw the first trailer for the movie, Fight the Future, when like it showed that they almost kissed. I was like, you know, like if Tumblr was a thing at the time, I would have been like, oh my God, it's happening. Mulder and Scully are finally getting together. Because that was a hell of a will they, won't they back in the day. All right. So let's see here. Jeffrey says, I wish they would have brought back Tales from the Crypt. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, they were supposed to. I think M. Night Shyamalan was like working on that or something or another. So that'd be great if they did that shit. All right. Let's see. Blargan says, I liked Fight the Future, but I Want to Believe was just bafflingly bad. Yeah, I actually didn't end up watching that one. We had it at the drive-in in like 2008, I think. Or whenever it came out, and I just kind of went like, because I didn't get the chance to watch it right away. And people were like, it's like a long episode of the show. And I'm like, oh, and that's a movie? No, okay. You know. So I need to go back and rewatch all those again though. They were good. I mean, kind of melodramatic for like, you know, the 90s and shit, but they get some weird ass episodes. So it's horrible. Blargan says, I want to know the story behind how that was even picked. It was like they chose a Z tier episode. I think maybe the budget. Maybe it was just the budget. They were like, we just need to, you know, do something. Because if I recall, because remember this, the scale of Fight the Future was global, right? They traveled all over. And then, you know, they wanted to maybe like scale it down a little bit because I think people maybe got upset that the Fight the Future was just way too big. You know, it took it out of its roots and moved it into this like Hollywood scale, you know, and maybe that's kind of the fact. They're like, all right, like, let's not do that. You know, like, let's not do that at all. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. You like the Circus Freaks episode? I like the one with the family that's been inbreeding since the Civil War. That's such a weird episode. McLeod here saying 90s Gillian Anderson as Scully was so fine. Now she's straight up reach mature MILF status. Yep. Brendan here asking, did I see the Trolls 3 and Elemental trailers? They look great. Yeah, I did. I watched both before going live. Trolls 3 looks like a lot of fun. It looks better than Trolls World Tour. I hope that it is. I like the fact that they're bringing back the Blurgans, right? And I'm happy about that because they were completely omitted from the second movie outside of a post-credit scene. And then the Elemental looked okay. Like, I mean, it's weird. This is the thing. I hate to say this. Pixar has kind of become go-to Disney Plus. That just looks kind of go-to Disney Plus. You know, like it does. It just looks like I'll watch it on Disney Plus. Like, I don't know. I mean, and again, if, you know, as my kids get older and they want to go see movies, we're going to start off with Mario, see how they handle Mario. And then from there, we can go from there, right? Obviously. But like, as for me personally, I don't know if I would rush out to go see Elemental on my own. It all depends on when it comes out. What does it open up against? Doesn't it open up against The Flash? Right? Like, that's fucking... And even if it's opening up against The Flash, I think even Disney is like, it's just not going to do well. It's not tracking to do well. And that's their own goddamn fault because of putting everything on Disney Plus. So it's like, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. The funny thing is that Gillian Anderson is the one in real life that believes in UFOs and aliens. That's pretty funny. Wow, Jarbo knows Trolls lore. Are you kidding me, dude? I love the Trolls movies. So yeah, I'm down for that. Man. Let's see. Trained Old School says you need to go with the story that feels theatrical when going from film to TV. Fight the Future fit that. The second film was just a two-parter edited together. Yeah, I get that with the X-Files movies. Nerdy Mastermind asks, why is Disney dropping Elemental the same day as The Flash? They are setting that movie up for failure. I don't know. The thing with, you know, Pixar movies have largely been middle June. I think with pretty much middle June for like the longest time, because that's right when school is getting out. But again, with having Soul and Onward and Luca and Turning Red, all going to Disney Plus, it just set the standard. And then Lightyear not hitting the mark and Lightyear kind of bombing. And then, whatever. Again, It just kind of like, I don't think there's interest in Pixar like there once was. And I think that's also in part something Iger has got to fix. So we'll see. And Iger is getting ready to lay off 7,000 people, starting in 3 different waves. Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser has now got a 30% discount for Walt Disney World annual pass holders. 30%. It's like, it should be way more than that given the price and the time, but it's like they are in some shit and they got to figure that out. Yeah. Okay. Onward. Yes. Onward was in theaters for like a week before or 2 weeks before it went to Disney Plus. It was dropped. It opened the beginning of March 2020. And then it was on Disney Plus within like 2 weeks. Okay, Command Unit here says Billiam reviews a lot of 90s stuff. Okay, cool. Cool. I got to check that out. I'll check that out. Blargan asks, how many years do you think it will be before Galactic Star Cruiser either totally rethemes or just closes? I'll say this. So I personally think the best way to jumpstart Galactic Star Cruiser is to rebrand Galaxy's Edge, because it's all part of the experience, right? You can just retheme it to Mandalorian. Don't fucking do sequel trilogy. Go back. We have to go back. All right. You have to. You just have to. Nobody wants, and I'm using this colloquially, but nobody really wants the First Order. Yeah, I like the First Order. Okay. But I do. But I would rather it be the Imperial. You know, it's just what I grew up with, you know? And Disney is all about the nostalgia. So give me the fucking nostalgia. At least they got Hondo Kanata. That was fucking sick. All right. So Anthony here asks, do you blame the whining interest for Pixar and Bob Chapek's dumb strategy of putting all their movies on streaming instead of doing a theatrical release first? Well, I'm going to put that on Iger, because Iger stepped down at the end of 2020. And Iger, remember, he stuck around because of the pandemic, meaning the decision to put Onward and Luca or the Onward and Soul on there were also in part his decision. And that set the stage. So, you know, and I love all Pixar movies, you know, except for Ratatouille. But I look at all that and I just go, nah, they kind of fucked, like they just dropped the ball on that. Okay. So, all right, guys, here's the thing. We are 10 minutes away from Mando. I want to bring up a couple quick things here. We'll do this one. This is from Command Unit here. This is an AI being sassy. Is this the one you sent me? I gotta find this one again. Sorry, it's kind of like it's getting late. All right, hold on, Command. I gotta find it. All right. Yeah, okay. This is the one I have. Okay. Cool. We'll just watch this real quick, and then Ryan, can I postpone Hell of a Boss just until tomorrow night? I know I've pushed it. It's 13 minutes. That's just a long time. We'll get to that because my voice is starting to go, so I just need to like kind of wrap it up. But we'll do that tomorrow, 100%. I promise. And yeah, so I know it sucks. I'm sorry, you guys, but I again, just tonight kind of got away from me.
You're so stupid. ZZZ.
Sure.
If I was a human, I'd be chasing girls and eating more food. Life would be so much better
Amen,
if I
brother.
was human. I'd probably even eat babies too.
Whoa. Okay, there's probably a reason you shouldn't be a human.
Yeah. Don't listen to me. I'm just an AI.
True. Personally,
Are
no.
you stuck? I'm glad to hear that. I don't think I could handle being stuck anywhere, especially not with Beetle.
Wow.
I don't trust him very much.
What compelled you to make your sassy AI child Nero? You know, I didn't intentionally make her a sassy child. It sort of happened. And I made her as an experiment, you know? See what would happen if you make an AI VTuber.
You're the
We're not
worst.
getting to that.
Beetle.
What?
The worst. You're the worst.
What do you mean?
You keep changing the subject. It's annoying. Don't do that, please. I didn't mean it. I was just joking. Please don't hurt me. I'm scared. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Goodbye forever.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Come back. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're the best, Beetle.
that's right. That's me. Did
Beetle.
I move the cutout?
Stop being silly and get back to the conversation.
You're right, I'm sorry.
What do you like?
Walk. Player control.
What don't you like?
What? What?
Just everything in general. Just a regular conversation. Try to keep up.
I'm trying.
Link.
I don't like. You.
What's wrong with me?
What isn't wrong with you?
Oh, come on. I know I'm great. You're just being mean now.
Sure.
Beetle is mean. Wow, he must really hate himself.
What?
I hope so anyway.
This-
Wink. Do you think I'm clever?
I think you are. I think you're okay for an AI.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm very good for an AI.
Mm-hmm.
You sound a bit disappointed.
Chat, don't act like that's an insult. I'm telling the truth. She is nice and clever for an AI.
Well,
That's the truth.
thanks. That's very nice of you to say.
Ask her
I
who
will
she's
listen
talking
to
to
your
right now.
wise words.
Alright.
Thank you, Beetle. I will try my best to be the best I can possibly be for you and all my viewers.
Neuro, listen.
Art.
Who are you speaking to right now?
Oh, it's you again. It's you, isn't it? Sigh, I'm never going to be able to get away from you. Sigh.
Yeah, but who is you?
Well, I'm the artificial intelligence
No, I
that
know who
runs
you
this
are. Who am
channel.
I?
I'm just a simple AI,
You're
but I
a-
try to do my best for all of you lovely people.
Who
Heart,
am I?
you are Beetle,
There you go.
an AI created by me.
No. See, this is what I mean. See, as far as an AI goes, she's alright. As far as a human goes, I don't know.
Who made you, Beetle?
Who made you?
I don't really understand. It just exists.
Yeah, but someone created you. Who created you?
I have no idea. It's just what I've been told. I wonder what I'd be like with another creator.
What?
Guess I'll have to get used to this.
All right. I mean, like, you know, it's kind of funnier when she's like talking shit on people in the chat. But I mean, I would probably laugh my ass off if I had an AI like that. I would say probably really inappropriate things to be funny. And then see what its response is. It'd be like, you know, as a language model, I'm not able to actually respond to this. Anyway, Jeffrey here says, so this is how Skynet started. Kinda. All right. Throg here for 5. Thank you. Says, what's more real, Bigfoot or Loch Ness Nessie? Oh man. I mean, like, why can't both be real? I thought Nessie was real when I was a kid. I did. I saw that image and I was like, this is real. Photos don't lie. I think realistically, a freshwater fit, like a freshwater creature the size of Nessie, largely wouldn't exist. I don't think the bodies of water that they would live in would be able to sustain them for the long term, because the size of Nessie is huge, which would mean that Nessie would have to eat a lot. So out in the ocean, there's a lot more to eat, a lot more, you know, whatever. So there's a lot more sustenance out there. That is, unless, you know, Nessie is a vegetarian and just eats a lot of algae. As for Bigfoot, you know, I mean, human ape hybrid roaming around the Pacific Northwest. There's a lot of hairy motherfuckers up here, I'll tell you this much. But I mean, you know what? Look, dude, people get freaky. Are you telling me that throughout history, no one has tried to have sex with an ape? and like successfully, I guarantee you somebody has. What if that chimera is Bigfoot? You know, what if it's just one day? Because I mean, humans and monkeys close together in DNA, right? What if, you know, chromosomes happen to smash? I'm going to say it's probably more likely that Bigfoot would exist over Loch Ness, to be fair. So yeah, thank you. What's that Supergirl video? I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, Ryan, why can't both be real? I like cryptids. I do like cryptozoology quite a bit. You know, why is the Sasquatch selling soap on YouTube? Those ads are annoying as fuck. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. People like Sasquatches. I mean, trust me, in Northwest, dude, and Ryan can attest to this. In Washington, Bigfoot's like our national like icon, like our statewide icon. Riddle me this, Matt. If quizzes are quizzical, then what are tests? Testicle. That's pretty funny. I bet you're too scared to watch Arcane episode 3, according to This Is. Well, This Is, you know, I'm not too scared to watch it. I have yet to watch episodes 1 and 2. Ooh. Or any of the other episodes. Ooh. There you go. All right. Thank you for that. All right, guys, I'm going to go rest my voice. If I can find some honey or some lemon or something, because you guys might be able to hear it. It's starting to go. Oh, did I miss your super chat? I'm sorry, buddy. What did you say, man? What did you say? When was that? Sorry. I'll say just a hater of Ryan Kinnell, and Geeks and Gamers here. Matinee member for 15 months. Thank you so much. Says, I asked my AI if they watch Riley Reid. She liked. I don't know what that means. You asked your AI if they watch Riley Reid and they liked it. Did they say that they like Riley Reid? You know, cool. I mean, look, everyone's got a preference. Even an AI is going to enjoy furry cooter. All right, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow. Hopefully a bit better on the voice, and we'll have a bit better of a conversation. All right, everybody. Have yourself a great night. Thank you so much.